Mic check, 1, 2, 3. Mic check, 1, 2, 3. Papa, can you hear me? Read all the writing on the walls. Do you want to build a snowman? Hello? Am I good?
I'll try again. You're good right now.
Oh, okay. Okay. I just didn't know. Do I have to keep going? I don't know. Huh? Oh, there it is. Papa, can you hear me? There we go.
You're good.
All right.
Such a long delay. All of a sudden you just hear it there.
I heard you out here doing that. I didn't know you were doing it on here. And then all of a sudden it came blasting through.
Well, because yesterday you were like, yep, you're good. And so I was just sitting there waiting before I was like, hello?
Yeah. No, because Johnny yesterday was like, I can't hear Tyler. And I was like, and so he could hear it. Everything was just really slow here. But yeah, we have the so I just downloaded it but the other one.
I didn't like my call though. I sounded too much like that
I thought it was good.
It was cool. And the Bruins will walk it off tonight. Oh, I sound like that. I should have went son of a
Here, he had a really good angle from this side of they crossing the lake.
I will say I'm not the
But unfortunately didn't get to use that as much. But yeah. Yeah, I figured it might as well. We don't video content, but it was late. It was late last night putting it up. It's just very different than other
I'd rather have Joe Blood leave, but I can't stand Joe Blood. Yeah, baby. I think they're gonna get Tony Romo's out like I love Tony Romo. He's so fun. Oh, we're good.
It should be.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Conestee Park, home of the Bob Jones University Bruins. Today's game features the Paine College Lions and your Bob Jones University Bruins. And now it is time for your starting lineups. First for the Lions. Batting first, number 1, Daza. Batting second, number 24, McMichael. Batting third, number 10, New. Batting fourth, number 16, Page. Batting fifth, number 7, Malone. Batting sixth, number 15, Martinez. Batting seventh, number 27, Wharf. Batting eighth, number 14, Beto. Batting ninth, number 2, Lamas. And on the mound, number 20, Tibadijo. Sorry. And now it's time for your Bob Jones University Bruins starting lineup. Batting first, playing right field, number 36, Colby Hogan. Batting second, playing center field, number 5, Riley Ramsey. Batting third, playing third base, number 38, Cole Pearson. Batting fourth, playing first base, number 14, Zach Burke. Batting fifth, and behind the plate, number 12, Daniel Barcina. Batting sixth, playing shortstop, number 9, Conley Burke. Batting seventh, your designated hitter, number 20, Shane Perouse. Batting eighth, playing second base, number 1, Chad Bain. Batting ninth, playing left field, number 2, Zay Brandt. And on the mound for your Bob Jones University Bruins, number 30, Josh Legnard. At this time, we please ask that you stand for a word of prayer followed by our national anthem. Father God, we thank you for this day, and we thank you for allowing us to worship you through the avenue of sports. We thank you for allowing everyone to travel here safely today, and we ask for the continuing safety of all of our athletes, coaches, officials, and spectators during this event. May we worship you in everything we do. In Jesus' name, amen.
Home of the dog. It's the most awkward feeling in the world when you can't read your own handwriting in the middle of reading the lineup and you're like, oh no. And they clapped, so I assume that means I got the name right at least. So I could hear so hey! I'm just like, I'm sorry. All right. Thibodeau, that's what I said.
Thibodeau. Tom Thibodeau?
Kayvon Thibodeau? Oh my god.
Oh my god. It's so cold I'm gonna die.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are live here on this beautiful Saturday morning here at Conestee Park for this doubleheader between the Paine College Lions and your Bob Jones University Bruins. The Bruins taking game 1 of this 3-game set last night on in walk-off fashion, I would say, as Riley Ramsey delivering the fatal blow to the Lions' hopes in yesterday's ball game in the bottom of the 10th inning. And the Bruins are hoping to continue that momentum into today. You just heard the starting lineups not too long ago. And if you were here last night, you would have known that the starting lineup is exactly the same. Everybody playing the same positions, batting in the same order. Only difference, of course, being Josh Legnard on the mound today for the Bruins. I, of course, am your resident PA man, Tyler Lopes, on the call for you today. I do believe that I will be doing both ends of the doubleheader, so somebody's going to have to give me some kind of cough drop by the end of this, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna get through it, and it's gonna be fun. Bruins certainly picking up some much-needed momentum last night. And I'm hoping the visibility for these guys is just a little bit better than it was yesterday. Obviously, if you tuned into last night's ball game, you would have seen that some of the guys had just a hard time finding the baseball throughout the evening. So Daza will lead things off for the Lions today, as he did yesterday. Yesterday's game, pretty much a perfect style of ball game. A pitcher's duel for the most part, but also offenses both having good moments in their own right. Ended up being a 5-4 ball game. I think a 5-4 ball game, 6-5 ball game, 6-4, anything like that is about right for a 9-inning ball game just in terms of excitement. And the first pitch for today is in there for a called strike one. Obviously, you know, there's a place for high-scoring ball games and low-scoring ball games, but I think a game that ends kind of the way that last night did, that's a great quality game right there. That one's inside for ball one. Legnard, obviously a much different style of pitcher than Henry Wallach, much more of a power pitcher than Henry Wallach. Also, of course, the main difference being that he throws from the opposite side. But the Bruins sticking with the formula of Henry Wallach starting Friday night. Josh Legnard starting first thing Saturday morning. And that one's in there for a called strike two. Daza being very patient. He was a bit aggressive yesterday at the dish, and it certainly worked out for him. Had 3 hits in last night's contest. But today being a little bit more patient. The 2-2. Swing and a foul ball, I believe. So Daza stays alive. Want to take a moment and thank all of you for joining us here today for this stream. Obviously, there's plenty of things you could be doing on a Saturday, and we appreciate the fact that you're taking time to join us here. As that one is swung on and fouled off to the right over towards our concession. And that's going to bounce all the way over towards some cars. And count remains at 2-2, so Daza doing a nice job of making Legnard work. Something that you really, really appreciate about a leadoff guy, making your guy work, but he can't pull the trigger on that curveball from Legnard, and he goes down looking, and Legnard has his first strikeout of the day, and that will be out number 1. It's going to bring up McMichael.
Paine College, number 24, Jalen McMichael.
McMichael, the center fielder for today's contest. First pitch from Legnard is upstairs for ball 1. And that one's a big swing and a miss, so the count moves to 1-1. So important for a pitcher to be able to get first strike on a batter to go up 0-1, and the 1-1 is swung on and hit out towards fairly deep central, but Riley Ramsey will trot a few steps back and settle under it to make the catch for out number 2, and that's going to bring up David New, the 3-hole hitter in yesterday's contest.
Now batting number 10.
Back in that spot today. So anyways, so important to get up 0-1 on a hitter for a pitcher. The batting averages for hitters drop significantly once you get ahead in the count, but almost equally as important as getting a first pitch strike is if you don't get a first pitch strike, you go down 1-0, it's almost equally important to get right back even with the count. And so hopefully Legnard, obviously throwing another first pitch ball there, will be able to get that going for him as he does there for strike 1. So vitally important to not go down 2-0 to a hitter, as batting averages just jump when you get down 2-0, and on-base percentages really jump, as obviously not just a threat of a hit, but a threat of a walk once you go down 2-0 to a hitter. And so important for a guy with Legnard's stuff as well, a guy that's got real good movement on his pitches, Guy that can, if he could throw a lot of strikes, that's a great pitch right there. But unfortunately, just missed the zone for ball 3. So important to stay ahead of hitters with that kind of stuff, because then you can really just kind of do whatever you want with the stuff that you have. And the 3-1. And that one just outside for ball 4. So that will bring Paige up to the plate. Dangerous hitter from last night and a couple extra base hits. We'll see if he can continue that momentum into today. But he will get an opportunity to bat here with a runner on first. And 2 outs here in the top of the first inning for those of you who are just joining us. And that one gets behind Barcina. He can't find it. Now he does track it down, but not before New is able to go up to second base. And that's about worst case scenario for the Bruins here, as obviously when you get 2 outs and nobody on base, the last thing you want to do is get a guy in scoring position with your number 4 hitter coming up for the opposing team, and that's exactly where the Bruins find themselves now. So we will see if Legnard can find his stuff here and figure out a way to get Paige retired here. The 1-0. Fastball swung on and tapped off to the right. So that will move the count to 1-1. And the 1-1 from Legnard is a curveball that is also tapped off to the right. And so the count will move to 1-2 here, as Legnard's curveball seems to be working for him early on today. Legnard steps off, takes a peek at second base. Saw a couple of base running miscues from the Lions yesterday. So obviously they are going to be very cognizant of those today, are the Bruins. And the 1-2 is in the dirt for ball 2. Count moves to 2-2. So since we are playing a doubleheader, this will be 2 7-inning games today. Of course, barring any kind of extra innings action, such as what we had last night. The 2-2. Swung on and tapped right back to the mound. That's off of Legnard's glove. Going to be a tough play, and there will not be a play. So Paige lucks out into a single there. But now the Lions threatening, all with 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. And that is going to bring up Malone. 5-hole hitter for the Lions.
Now batting for Paine College, captain number 7, Joel Malone.
Big start here for both teams here. Can the Bruins figure something out? And again, a few base running miscues from the Lions yesterday, and a good move from Legnard there. Keep Paige close, and I'm sure that Paige will be running here soon. And a big swing and a miss from Malone. Legnard gets ahead in the count. Certainly a big start to the at-bat there. Runners on the corners, 2 outs here in the top of the first inning for the Lions. And that one's on the inside corner for strike 2. Legnard up 0-2 here. And this is one of those instances where you really got to trust your catcher. You're probably going to go some off-speed. At the very least, maybe not right now, but later in this at-bat, as he does go off-speed there, and that's hit out to right field. Colby Hogan battling the wind, but he'll drift back and make the catch for out number 3. So the Lions come up empty despite the threat here in the top of the first. We'll head to the bottom half. The score still knotted up at 0.
Fans, this is just a reminder that all foul balls returned to the concession stand can be exchanged for a lollipop. Now leading off for the Bruins, right fielder number 36, Colby Hogan.
And we are back here live as Colby Hogan flies the first pitch out to left field, and Page will settle under it and make the catch for out number 1. So quickly, Colby Hogan retired on one pitch. So Trivedijo is on the mound for the Lions. At least I believe that's how I pronounce it.
Batting for the Bruins, number 5, Riley
So that'll bring up
Ramsey.
Riley Ramsey for the Bruins here. Riley Ramsey, of course, the guy who ended the game last night. Ground ball, single up the middle. Put down the Lions in last night's ball game in extra innings. And that one's grounded over to short. Daza Fields, he'll fire. And he stays on the bag for out number 2. So 2 up and 2 down very quickly here for the Bruins. And that's going to bring up Cole Pearson, playing third base tonight. Or today, excuse me, just as he did last night. Got a little ahead of myself there.
The Bruins, third baseman, number 38, Cole Pearson.
And the first pitch from Trivedijo is well outside for ball 1. Although I will admit, I say that that's well outside, but I feel like last night that probably would have been called a strike. Very, very wide outside part of the zone in last night's ball game. But it was at the very least consistent for both teams. So again, I said this a few times last night, but that's really all you can ask for as a player. But obviously a bit of a different strike zone so far today. The 2-0 to Pearson. Fastball just misses. Count moves to 3-0. I know last night that certainly would have been a strike. But nonetheless, a ball here in this at-bat, the 3-0. Trivedijo working quickly. That one's in there for a called strike 1. Now 3-1 to Pearson. And you got to love pitchers that work very, very quickly. And Pearson turns that one around and hits that out to left field, and Page goes to a knee, and he'll make the catch for out number 3. So quick inning for the Bruins. We'll head to the top of the second inning. Game still knotted up at 0.
Now batting for Paine College, number 15, Camilo Martinez.
All right, we are back here live as the Bruins and the Lions locked in a battle here, 0-0 in the top of the second. Pearson fields that one and makes a nice running play for out number one. Tough one. Certainly, Cole Pearson made that one look easy, but it is definitely not throwing on the run like that. And usually when you throw on the run like that, you throw underhand or at least sidearm of some sort, and Pearson threw over the top, which makes it a lot more difficult, but able to get the job done there for out number one. And that one is a big swing and a miss for strike one.
Paine College, number 27, Fabio Wharf.
Fabio Wharf batting now for the Lions. The 0-1 from Legnard, a big swing and a miss. Legnard works a little bit more methodically, or maybe not methodically, but deliberately than Henry Wallach. Wallach certainly picks up the pace a little bit more when he's out there, especially when he's rolling. Not to say that Legnard goes slow, he certainly does not, but obviously just a little bit more deliberate with his movements. You can see he takes a little bit more time as he sets up, and a nice curveball from Legnard gets Wharf swinging on that one, tied them all up in bunches, and that'll be out number two. That's going to bring up Beto.
Now batting for Paine College, number 14, Jerry Beto.
First pitch to Jerry Beto is swung on and fouled off into the mitt for strike one. And that one is inside and probably a little bit down as well for ball one. Count moves to 1-1. Legnard starting off this inning the way he started off last inning. Let's hope he can end it in a little bit of a better fashion than he did the last inning. And that one is swung on and hit off the end of the bat over to Zach Burke. And a 1-2-3 inning for the Lions. So the Bruins will head to the bottom of the second inning, still locked in a 0-0 ball game. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back here live as Zach Burke steps up to the plate here for the Bruins against Trividio.
Now up to the Bruins, number 14, Zach Burke.
Who I will say, just from my own vision here, the body language, the mechanics, reminds me a lot of a Felix Hernandez. And hopefully, if his family is watching this stream, he takes that as a compliment. Obviously, Felix, one of the greatest pitchers of our generation. And hopefully, Trividio one day can project like a Felix Hernandez. although he's going to probably need to add a few miles an hour to that fastball. No offense taken there, of course, I hope, anyway. But obviously, Trevidijo not throwing 97. And the 2-1 is upstairs. Obviously, the pace also reminds me of Felix. And I always love watching pitchers like that go quickly, that throw a lot of strikes. Makes for a much more interesting game. So that one is chopped over to short. Daza with a nice play. Turns and fires. Made that one look easy. That was a great play by Daza, and that's going to be out number 1. It's going to bring up Daniel Barcina. Had a nice ball game yesterday. Hopefully he will carry that momentum into today.
Daniel Barcina.
Trevidijo fires first pitch, and that one's outside for ball 1. Sun's starting to come out here at Conestee Park. Certainly a welcome sign, as that one is hit out toward the left and way out of play. 4 strike 1. And the 1-1. Looked like a change up there. Barcina swings, fouls that one into the catcher's mitt for strike 2. Count now moves to 1-2 as Barcina looks to start something here, get the first base runner of the day for the Bruins. And that one is just inside. Good pitch from Trevidijo, but doesn't get the call. Count moves to 2-2. And that one gets by the catcher. Obviously nobody on base, so it doesn't really matter, but count moves full here. And I'm sure at this point Barcina would take a walk just as much as he would take a hit at this point. Obviously still early in this one, but would be the first runner of the game for the Bruins, and he swings at that one and rips it over toward our fans. And that scared me, the lack of reaction of anybody during that whole process. Like, that ball was absolutely roped, and it landed a foot away from people, and they were just staring forward. And that one is slapped over to third base, backhanded, and he'll fire on to first in a nice play. So nice defensive plays early on from both sides today. That'll be out number 2. Good at bat from Barcina, though. Obviously, Trevidijo working very quickly in the first inning, only throwing 7 or 8 pitches or so. So certainly good to get that pitch count up. At least just a little bit. That's going to bring up Conley Burke.
Number 9, Conley Burke.
Trevidijo's first pitch to Burke is in there for a call. Strike 1. Trevidijo definitely wanting to go after guys early. Hasn't always happened. He's thrown, obviously, a few first pitch balls, but certainly wanting to go after guys. And a good, looked like slider there from Trevidijo, just fell off the table. And Burke swings through it for strike 2. And the 0-2 to Burke. Way upstairs and outside for ball 1. Shane Perush, once again the designated hitter today, will wait on deck and hope that Burke can get on so he can bat here. And he rips that one, and it's off the glove of a diving first baseman, and that's exactly what happens as Conley Burke has the first hit and base runner for the Bruins of the day here with 2 outs in the bottom of the second. That will, as I said just a few seconds ago, bring up Shane Perush, the designated hitter for the Bruins.
Now at the dish for Bob Jones, number 20, designated hitter, Shane Perush. And
that one just upstairs for ball 1. And you know Perush would absolutely love to find a gap here and get a rally going here with 2 outs for the Bruins. First time seeing Tribadijo work out of the stretch in this one. Let's see what he's got. And that one's ripped up the middle for a base hit. Shane Perush continues this nice inning for the Bruins. They've got something cooking, but can they get it done? And that'll be up to Chad Bain here with 2 outs and 2 on here in the second.
Second baseman number 1, Chad Bain.
Chad Bain had a couple of hits in last night's ball game as well, out of the 8th spot. Usually, at least from when I've been here, was batting in the 9 spot. Now, obviously, batting in the 8th spot. And that one is flown out to fairly shallow right field. Wind taking that, and it's dropped over there at first base. As Worf could not hang on. Obviously, a lot of wind going on here. Got a glove on it, but could not secure it. So Chad Bain will get another chance here to come through for the Bruins. Let's see if he will utilize it. Obviously, you can see a pretty wide hole on the right side of the infield. Let's see if Chad Bain looks to exploit that. Second baseman obviously holding that runner. And that one this time is swung on out to shallow right field, but that will be hauled in by the second baseman, and he'll make the catch for out number 3. So the Bruins come up empty. They leave 2 on base, and we'll head to the top of the 3rd inning, still locked at a 0-0 ball game.
Now batting number 2, Vladimir Lemos.
All right, folks, we're back here live as Legnard already up 0-2 here in his first at-bat. Or not his first at-bat, but in Bito's first at-bat. And that one in there for a call, strike 3. And excuse me, it wasn't Bito, it was Lamas. Excuse me. But man, Lamas was all fooled on that curveball, and I don't blame him. Legnard's got a good one, and that's the first out of the inning. It's going to bring up Daza for his second at-bat against Legnard. Bruins pitching has pitched very well so far in this series as that one's flown out to fairly shallow right field. Kobe Hogan will battle the wind again. Come on and make the catch for out number 2. So once again, very quickly, 2 up, 2 down here as both pitchers looking to work quickly and keep that pitch count down. That is the name of the game for your pitching staff. And for both teams really have their full arsenal of weapons in their pitching staff ready to go today, as the Bruins only using Henry Wallach and Daniel Williams for an inning last night. And then obviously Rounds for the Lions last night, going all 9+ innings that he pitched. Never came out of the game, went well past the task at hand in terms of what he was required and what he was asked to do. So certainly shout out to him. Hopefully he's not hurting too bad today. Obviously you never want a guy to pitch that well for that long and end up losing. But it's just another Rich Hill incident, I suppose. Although Rich Hill's was a little bit more egregious as he lost the no-hitter and the game in one swing in the 10th inning. That one's grounded to Cole Pearson. He fires on to first base. Great throw, and that's out number 3. And again, another very quick half inning here. We'll head to the bottom of the 3rd inning as the Bruins and Lions are stuck at 0-0.
Now batting for the Bruins, number 2, left fielder, Zay Brandt.
All right, folks, we're back here live as Zay Brandt will step up to the plate here and swing at the first pitch. Foul it off for strike 1. Those of you just joining us, it is the bottom of the 3rd inning. Still locked in a 0-0 ball game here are the Bruins and the Lions as Tribudijo fires the 0-1, and that's upstairs for ball 1. Bruins looking to continue the momentum that they got from last night's ball game, but they got a tough task ahead of them here as Brandt hits that one out toward the hole, but second baseman will track it down and make the catch for out number 1, and that will bring up top of the lineup for the Bruins. Colby Hogan step up here. 0 for 1 in this one.
Right fielder number 36, Colby Hogan.
As pretty much almost everybody in today's ball game has for their stat line is 0 for 1, with a few exceptions, of course. Definitely been a pitching duel early, obviously with the score being 0-0. And that one is tapped over toward first base, and the first baseman will take it himself for out number 1. Nice play from Wharf there, staying down on a ball that probably had a good amount of funky spin on it, but he stays with it and gets out number 2, and that'll bring up Riley Ramsey. Again, the hero from last night's ball game will look to get something going here with 2 outs.
Riley Ramsey.
And that was a nice curveball from Tribudijo as Ramsey fouls that into the catcher's mitt. We've seen a few foul balls into the catcher's mitt already today. Usually you don't see it very often, but I believe that's already 3 or 4 times today we've seen that. And that one just inside. Nice pitch there from Tribadijo, trying to get that inside corner, but was just off the plate by a ball or two. So good call there from the Blue. As this count moves to 1-1, and the pitch. Swung on and hit out towards right field, but that's going to drift foul and out of play for strike 2. And once again, Tribadijo working very quickly, and it has really been successful for both pitchers today, as neither offense able to get really much of anything going. Each team had a threat. The Lions in the first and the Bruins in the second. But obviously neither able to capitalize, and that one is hit out toward the hole again, and that time it's going to get through. So Riley Ramsey able to get his bat on it and just poke that out to center field. And so beginnings of a 2-out rally starting to form here for the Bruins, but in order for it to keep going, Cole Pearson's going to have to keep it going for them. Great pitch from Tribadijo, even better offense there from Riley Ramsey. Sometimes you just got to throw your bat out and say a little bit of a prayer and hope things go well for you, and that time it worked out for Ramsey. And the first pitch to Pearson is in there for a called strike 1. Pearson hit it hard in his last at-bat, but I believe lined out to Page out there in left field. Made a nice sliding catch. And the 0-1. Outside and in the dirt. Nice stop there by the catcher. Obviously, Fernandez back there for last night's ball game, but Malone back behind the plate for the Lions in this one, so a nice stop from him there. And that one is swung on and popped high in the air. Almost couldn't see it along the left side of the infield. That drifts back into fair territory, but the third baseman settles under it and makes the catch for out number 3. And another quick inning for the Lions and the Bruins as we head to the top of the 4th inning, and score still knotted at 0-0.
Now batting for Paine College is left fielder number 10, David Page.
All right, we're back here live as the count sits at 0-2 here to David New. That one is swung on and fouled off. And another 0-2 from Legnard. Curveball, swing and a miss, but that ball hit the dirt. So Barcina's going to have to fire onto first base and almost hits the runner there, but luckily narrowly escapes disaster there, and that'll be out number 1 as another strikeout for Legnard. I believe that's 5 already. He's got that strikeout pitch working for him so far. And the first pitch to Page is in there for a swinging strike 1.
Number 16, Dominique Page. These guys are brothers.
And the 0-1 and a curveball, but Page lays off. Count moves to 1-1. And in a pitcher's duel like this, any one big swing can turn the tides. So a guy like Dominique Page is certainly a dangerous foe no matter what the score is. But certainly in close games like this, all it takes is one big swing, one big momentum turner, and that could be it. So Legnard will certainly want to be careful here. The 2-1. Swing and a miss, but man, Legnard has pretty much the entire lineup for the Lions all turned in knots right now. That curveball, as I said early on in the broadcast, has really been working for him. And the 2-2. Fastball in the dirt, maybe a changeup. Couldn't exactly. It's kind of hard to tell the difference between a fastball and a changeup most of the time when you're at this angle. They kind of look the same. It's hard to kind of tell the differentiation in speed from this angle. But nonetheless, count moves to 3-2 as Legnard fires. And for the second time, Page will take a walk. Legnard has 2 walks, and both have gone to Page so far today. Although I will say, if you're going to walk somebody on the team based on yesterday's performance, I would say walk him. So 1 out and 1 on here for the Lions.
Now batting for Paine College, number 7, Joel Malone.
It's going to bring up Joel Malone, the catcher for today, or at least for this first game. And a move over to first as Page slides back in safely. There's been a rarity so far today to see a pitcher work out of the stretch on either side. And a curveball checked, and he did not go. Certainly looked like a good call to me. Count moves to 1-0. Legnard has been leaning on that curveball, but sometimes when you don't throw it for a strike, it can really only be used for your 2-strike approach. All right, it's highly possible that I have been disconnected for the last few seconds. Seems that I accidentally yanked one of the wires and pulled myself out of the headset, so I do apologize if I went silent for a few minutes there. If not, then this is even more awkward. But nonetheless, count is 1-1, and ones are wild here. Enjoy it while it lasts, because it only lasts one pitch. And Page takes off, and Barcina from his knees, and it could not be gathered by Burke. And Page is going to take off. Ramsey fires, but Page is going to get there in plenty of time. And just like that, the Lions are threatening here in the 4th. And again, as I said, all it takes is one little momentum turn, and that could be it in a game like this. So can the Lions capitalize on this golden opportunity? Runner on third, less than 2 outs, and the heart of the order still up here for the Lions. Legnard fires, and a swing and a miss. Big strikeout there. That's going to be 2 outs. That curveball really working well for Legnard today. That's going to bring up Martinez. And it's going to be up to him to get that run across. And that's going to be in the dirt. Nice stop from Barcina. And it doesn't even take much. All it takes is a little bit of a wild pitch or pass ball for that run to score. Page showing off his speed. And we have seen this large backstop for the Bruins hurt them in the past. Certainly it wouldn't take much. And the 0-1 is swung on, and again, stopped by Barcina, and that's just so important for you as a pitcher to know that even if you miss your spot, you throw it in the dirt, your catcher's going to gobble it up, and it's not going to hurt you. It's just such a peace of mind thing for you as a pitcher. And that one's a big swing and a miss. Count sits at 1-2 now. Certainly coming from someone who's been on both sides where you don't trust your catcher enough to block the ball, and when you certainly do, it certainly is just a big peace of mind for you as a pitcher to know that you could throw it in the dirt and your catcher's going to gobble it up. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Legnard pumps his fist. Fired up. He's able to get out of it. And this score remains at 0-0 as we head to the bottom of the fourth.
Now batting for the Bruins, first baseman number 14, Zach Burke.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back here live as Zach Burke takes that first pitch for strike one from Tribadijo, who has pitched very well so far for the Lions. Obviously, Legnard has also pitched very well for the Bruins, although that one didn't even really reach the batter's box. Certainly not some of Tribadijo's best work today. Count moves to 1-1. And that pitch is swung on and missed. And, man, both these pitchers really just have both lineups off balance today. And it has been a pleasure to watch. Sun was coming out a little earlier here at Conestee Park, but it appears to have disappeared again. It appears to have disappeared. I didn't like that sentence. It seems to have disappeared. Again, that's better. Count moves to 2-2 here. And that one's outside as Zach Burke works the count full. One of the few times we've seen Tribadijo getting into deep counts with batters today. Certainly Zach Burke very capable of doing some damage. Let's see if he can do it here. The 3-2. And he takes that, and he say he went. And he does not agree with that. And neither do the Bruins, but that will be out number one nonetheless. That's going to bring up Daniel Barcina. And that one just misses. Good pitch from Tribadijo. The count moves to 1-0. The 1-0. Swung on and ripped out to center field. That's going to stay up just long enough for the center fielder to run it down and make the catch. One of the few balls that have been hit really hard today, but unfortunately for Barcina, tracked down by the center fielder out there. That's going to bring up Conley Burke.
Batting for the Bruins. Shortstop, number 9, Conley Burke.
And the first pitch to Burke is inside, possibly a little bit upstairs as well for ball 1. Looked like a changeup there from Trivedijo. Don't see a lot of first pitch changeups in today's game, but certainly always interesting when you do, as that one's in there for called strike 1. The 1-1. Curveball in there for a called strike. Trivedijo's got absolutely everything working in order today. Fastball, curveball, changeup. It has all been in the zone and working for him. And another curveball fouled off by Burke. Nice job to spoil that one there. It was a good pitch. Camus, or stays, excuse me, at 1-2. The 1-2 again. Just off the plate. You could see the catcher kind of move that one back toward the plate. Umpire says, I'm not fooled by that. Cal moves to 2-2. Nice effort by the catcher, though. Certainly can't blame him there. I'd do the exact same thing if I was back there. The 2-2. Swung, and again, just barely fouled off by Conley Burke. And another really nice at-bat. And when a guy's dealing as well as Trivedijo is, sometimes the moral victories are the ones that matter. Just trying to get the guy to work, and that one's ripped into left field for a base hit. And so Conley Burke says, I'm not satisfied with moral victories. I want a real one, and he takes a real one there, wins that battle for a base hit. Keeps this inning going for the Bruins. And really, the Bruins have had some really nice at-bats against Trivedijo today, but they've really all come with 2 outs, where you really don't have much to work with. And you've got to, at that point, string 2, 3, maybe even 4 good at-bats together in a row to get something going. Not saying the Bruins aren't capable of that. Of course they are, but it is just a lot more difficult at that juncture, and that one's in there for a called strike 1. It's a little bit easier to put 3 or 4 good at-bats together in a conjuncture of, 6 or 7 at-bats instead of it obviously being 3 or 4 in a row. And that one's outside for ball 1. Count moves to 1-1. 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th here. Bruins with a runner on first in this 0-0 ball game. Shane Perush at the dish. For those of you just joining us here, and that one is tapped out, and Trivedijo will jog towards first base, flip it on himself for out number 3. So the Bruins come up empty despite the 2-out single from Conley Burke, and we'll head to the top of the 5th, still locked in a 0-0 ball game.
Now batting for Paine College, first baseman number 27, Fabio Worf.
All right, folks, we're back here live as Josh Legnard back out there for his what will be his 5th inning of work, as that one's upstairs for ball 1 to Worfs, the first baseman. Legnard has certainly pitched very well so far today, but his counterpart, Tribadijo for the Lions, has pitched equally well. But now Legnard finds himself down 2-0 here to Worfs. Certainly wants to go after him here, the 2-0. And that's exactly what he does, but that one's downstairs. So Legnard not able to find home plate so far in this inning. The 3-0 in there for a called strike 1. Let's see if he goes after him again here, does Legnard. And that one is popped high in the air. And it drops. Conley Burke, and no one's at second, but Cole Pearson wisely sprinting there. And quite honestly, I gotta be honest, that's probably Zach Burke's baseball right there. And you could see Barcina pointing to Burke and saying, that's yours. And Burke patting his chest saying, hey, you're right, that is on me. Now granted, the wind definitely took that one, but a great effort from Burke, got his glove on it. But with the change in altitude on that mound there, certainly you can understand his depth perception being off. But for one of the first times today, the Lions have the leadoff guy on here, and that one's upstairs for ball 1, and you can see them trying to do anything at this point to get that runner in a scoring position, put their team in some kind of a good spot to get that run across. In order to do that, you've got to try and get to Legnard, who has really not shown any kind of chinks in his armor so far, although really having a hard time finding home plate right now. And especially at this point when he's giving you an out in the 5th inning of the ball game, when it's tied, just take it. And move over to first. And Worfs gets back in plenty of time. Not a bad idea from Barcina, though. But that bunt was missed, so that's going to move the count to 2-1. Definitely wind picking up a little bit here at Conestee Park. It's getting a little bit chillier, and that one just misses again. So now it's interesting, or at least I'm interested to see if they have Beto bunt here, or if they give him the green light on 3-1. And another move over to first. Worfs gets back safely again, and Legnard, once again, just having a hard time finding the zone here. We have seen spells like that from Legnard before. Let's see if he can work his way out of it. Not that time. Speedo takes ball 4. And certainly best case scenario right now for the Lions in a close game to have a couple runners on, especially at the bottom of your lineup. Get on here as we head toward come barreling toward the top of the lineup as Daza, the leadoff hitter, sits on deck. But number 9 guy up now for the Lions.
Now batting for Paine College, number 2, Vladimir Lemos.
That's going to be Lamas.
Vladimir Guerrero.
And Lamas squares for a bunt, and he gets it down, but that's foul. Couldn't get it down there. It's probably a little bit too hard of a bunt anyway for what the Lions would have wanted there. Certainly, in a spot like this, you do want to bunt down the third base line, and the reason for that is because the third baseman's going to have to crash and get the baseball, which means he will not be able to cover the bag, which obviously gives you a much better chance of getting that runner over to third. And you can see Burke sprinting over to third, and that's off of the glove of Pearson. Pearson couldn't gather that one, and so now the 7, 8, and 9 hitters aboard for the Lions, which certainly bodes well for their chances in this inning. And for Josh Legnard, you got to sit and go, what the heck else do I have to do here to get these guys out? A couple of errors in this inning already. Got a feel for Legnard at this point with the way he's pitched. Deserves a better fate than what he's getting here, but let's see if he can work out of this. Certainly no damage done yet, but it's going to be a tough task to get through this, and that's ball 1. Because now you got to throw strikes. You've got to go after guys because you can't walk in a run. Just, you know, I guess you can. Obviously, it's possible, but you certainly don't want to because your defense has no chance of helping you with that. And that one is flown out toward center field. Riley Ramsey will make the catch, tagging from third, and he will score. And so we have our first score of the ball game here as Daza comes through with a sacrifice fly, and score will now be 1-0 Lions here in the 5th. Certainly not on Legnard there. Not much you could do with 2 errors. Obviously the walk certainly didn't help. But nonetheless, my guess is definitely if that run does score on third, on and out, certainly those will both be unearned runs. Because obviously he would have gotten out of the inning had those errors not occurred. And the runner goes, and that's going to get past the second baseman. Obviously they're trying to do a cutoff play there, and it didn't work out the way they wanted, but nice job from Conley Burke to stop that one from going out in the outfield and giving them a free run. But now the double play is not in order here. And I believe that pitch was a strike. Legnard sets and fires, and a bunt there. And the fans are very unhappy with the call there, but it looked like he got back in plenty of time to me. I'm not sure what everybody is upset about there. Maybe they saw something that I didn't, but to us up here at the booth, it certainly looked like an easy call there. And the 0-2 is ripped down the line, and that's just foul. Oh, my goodness, that was inches away from disaster for the Bruins. But luckily, that does just steer a tiny bit foul. But now 0-2. And Legnard will look to really just try and get out of this as quickly as he can. But going to be a tough task as that one's popped high in the air to shallow right field. Colby Hogan running in, and he will make the basket catch. And that one is fired way over the head of the catcher, but the runner just deking the throw, basically. And certainly that runner's probably kicking himself right now. If he had gone all the way, he definitely would have scored with the bad throw, but they will not score there. And so Legnard now with 2 outs. 1 unearned run scoring already in this inning. That's going to bring up David New, the 3-hole hitter for the Lions. And this is a tough task. Certainly, you definitely want to get New out here as the dangerous Page is on deck for the Lions. That one's upstairs and outside for ball 2. Not a good start to the at-bat for Legnard. You don't want to be down 0-2 to no matter who you're facing. David New obviously has some pop in his bat as well. And in a hitter's count, will probably get a fastball here. 2-0. He does, and he demolishes it deep to left center, and that one is way out of here. David New, just like I said, he was going to get a fastball, and he knew it, and he did not miss it. David New with a 3-run home run here in the 5th, and this score now balloons to 4-0. And he does the Fernando Tatis toe tap at third base as he rounds the bases on what is a huge home run for the Lions in this one. And this score now, as I said, will balloon to 4-0. That'll bring up Page. Dangerous batter in and of himself, of course, and that one's in there for a called strike one. And unfortunately for Legnard, just one too many outs he had to get. When you give good teams 4 or 5 outs in an inning, it's just usually never going to work out for you, and it did not work out for the Bruins there. And the 0-2 is swung on and missed, and Page goes down on strikes again. So Legnard gets Page, but the damage is done as 4 runs come across for the Lions. So we'll head to the bottom of the 5th as the Bruins now trail 4-0.
Now batting for the Bruins, second baseman number 1, Chad Bain.
All right, folks, we're back here live as Chad Bain will step up to the plate for the Bruins as they look to chip into this deficit, I should say. As that one is just outside for ball 1. Certainly that would have been a strike yesterday, but today is, of course, a different day and a different game as the Bruins were really in control most of the day yesterday. Definitely not the case here today as they find themselves down 4-0. All 4 runs coming across in the last half inning for those of you who are just joining us. And the 1-1 pitch is just outside. That looked like a really good pitch from Tribadijo. A few really good pitches in this at-bat already. But unfortunately for him, count sits at 2-1. That one's in there. Called strike 2. Count now moves to an even 2-2. 8-9-1 up for the Bruins in this inning. Obviously, Chad Bain, Zay Brandt, Colby Hogan. That one's in there, called strike 3. Great pitch. Chad Bain couldn't do anything with that one. As that will be the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up Zay Brandt, the 9-hole hitter for the Bruins in this one. And Brandt chops that one over to third. Nice big hop for the third baseman, and he throws high. But obviously the first baseman kind of landing in the baseline, and obviously the first baseman not very happy with the way that Brandt kind of went in there, but Brandt looks a little bit shaken up. He appears to be all right. But obviously neither of them happy with the way that turned out. Base runner, one of the things that you just don't want to see is a base runner running or a first baseman that jumps right into your lane. And obviously as a first baseman, that's the last thing you want to see too, is a runner sprinting full bear right at you.
Now at the bat for the Bruins, number 36, Colby Hogan.
And the 1-0. Misses, ball 2. And the 2-0 from Tribudijo is downstairs. Count moves to 3-0. And the 3-0. Upstairs, and a rare 4-pitch walk from Tribudijo there. And that used to happen to me sometimes. It was very strange. You'd be cruising along, everything's working, and then all of a sudden one batter just shows up, and you just can't throw anything for a strike. It's very strange how that just ends up happening. But usually what ended up happening for me anyway was, you settle right back down, you figure it out the next batter. So we'll see what happens to Tribudijo here. But yeah, it's just very, very odd. It would just kind of randomly show up, just like suddenly for 4 pitches couldn't throw a strike. And just as I thought, for next pitch, right down the middle, that one's hit into fairly deep left field, but Page will back up and make the catch for out number 3. So Tribudijo gets the Lions back in the dugout and seals that momentum for them. So we'll head to the top of the 6th as the Bruins trail 4-0.
Now up to bat for Paine College, number 7, Joel Malone.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back here live as Josh Legnard steps back up to the mound after what I can only say it was a rough last inning, as that one is hit down the third base line and foul. Certainly not all on him last inning. A couple of defensive miscues. And then obviously the big 3-run home run by David New. Certainly can't blame anybody else but Legnard on that one, but certainly would not have been in that position had defense not had those miscues. But that's all in the past now, and all you can do is focus on keeping the lead where it is. As Legnard looks to find his rhythm again as they trail 4-0. And the 1-1. Swung on and fouled pretty much straight back. Count moves to 1-2. So once again, just wanted to say thank you all so much for taking some time out of your day and joining us here. Whether you are going to join us for just this game or whether you're going to join us for both games today. And my goodness, Cole Pearson has no idea where the ball is. And he got absolutely crunched with that one. It looked like it hit right off his arm. Maybe even hit him off his head. I'm not really sure what happened there. Third base coach checking on him. Yeah, it appears to have hit him in the head. Some capacity. Yep, he's pointing to his head. My goodness, that is not a good sign. But he appears to be okay. I think that the lack of awareness was just him looking for the ball. I don't think that that was him not knowing where he was. Although certainly you can't discount that. In all my years, I will say, I have never gotten hit in the head with a ground ball at third base. I got hit, ground ball in the head at shortstop. It kicked off of the lip and hit me, but luckily I was wearing sunglasses and a hat, and so they took almost the entire force of the baseball. I didn't even get a cut or a bruise from it. So I got very lucky there, but certainly Cole Pearson does not appear to be as lucky. But he appears to be okay. He'll stay in the game, and he'll get a nice ovation from our crowd here. I have seen guys get knocked unconscious that way before. At third base, a guy was playing travel ball. I think I was 16 at the time. Guy on our team hits an absolute frozen rope. Guy dives behind the bag. It hit just enough of the bag to take a big kick towards the fielder and up, and it hit him right in the head as he was diving. It was just a pinpoint shot, and he was out. He crunched on the ground, and for a good 7 or 8 seconds, he did not move. And then finally he started to kind of wiggle a little bit and rolled over on his side, and he certainly did not play for the rest of that game. It was really gross to watch, especially since we were the team in the third base dugout, so we were legitimately about 20 feet away, maybe a little bit more, but still very, very close. We saw it hit right off of his head. So it was a horrible, horrible moment. But nonetheless, lucky for Cole Pearson, he seems to be okay, and we'll continue in this one. But back to the action, count sitting at 0-2 here. And that one just stays outside. Legnard, good pitch there. Just not quite able to get that corner of the plate. Count moves to 1-2. And another move over to first. Gets back safely. And the 1-2 is swung on and fouled off to the right. Count remains 1-2. And the 1-2, and wow, I cannot believe that that was not strike three, but it was not. Count remains at 2-2. Obviously, when you go to throw like that as a catcher, you kind of tend to pull the ball away from the zone as you're gathering to throw, and maybe that was what happened there. I think if Barcina sticks that, that's probably strike three. But unfortunately, with the runner going, I don't blame him for not doing that, but Legnard gets the strikeout with the next pitch anyway, and that'll be the first out of the inning. And a big strikeout for Legnard to get his confidence back and to get his rhythm back. He certainly needed that one. It's going to bring up Worf, the first baseman. And certainly the Bruins would absolutely love a double play here, but ground balls have been hard to come by today for both sides. Really, it's just been strikeouts and pop-outs and fly-outs so far today. And Worf fouls that off for strike one. Once again, wanted to finish my thought, what I was saying earlier, which is just thank you guys so much for joining us, taking some time out of your day and joining us, whether you are here for one stream. And Legnard, and unfortunately, there was no throw. And not really sure what happened there. Zach Burke appeared to be in a prime position to get him out, but there was no throw. I'm not sure if something happened. If there was a balk called and I didn't hear it, I don't know what happened there. Coach Castile coming out to talk about it. I'm not sure what's going on now. And I think a balk was called. That's the only thing that I can think of, that Burke wouldn't throw the baseball. Obviously the umpire, yeah, I believe a balk was called. They're saying that Legnard was already delivering to the plate when he decided to throw over to first. And it appeared to be a little bit of a late decision for Legnard to throw to first, but I'm not obviously qualified, given the angle that I'm at, to tell you if the angle of his front leg went too far toward home plate. That's obviously up to the umpire's discretion, and I certainly can't tell that from up here. But the only thing that I can think of is that a balk was called. and I just did not hear it or see it. So nonetheless, a runner on second here with one out for Legnard. And that one's in the dirt. Nice stop from Barcina, and no check with the umpire. So obviously the home plate umpire very confident that the swing did not happen. And once again, ones are wild here in the sixth. And enjoy it while it lasts, because it only lasts one pitch. And that one is in there for a called strike 2. So the count now moves to 1-2. The 1-2 in the dirt. Looked like a change up there. Count moves to now 2-2. So hopefully you guys will be able to stick around and join us for the second half of this doubleheader today, starting about roughly 30 minutes after the conclusion of this game. And that one just misses. Count moves to 3-2. And Legnard's pitch count certainly has been rising over the last couple of innings. He's thrown a lot more pitches in the last few innings than he did in his first few. He's gotten into some trouble and starting to get himself into some trouble here. But can he finish this at-bat off? That one's chopped over to Legnard. He gathers it and fires over to first for out number 2, but the runner does move up 90 feet to third base, so Bruins in danger of giving up another run here, but it has not happened yet.
Now batting for Paine College right fielder number 9, Jerry Beto.
It's going to bring up Jerry Beto, the right fielder for the Lions today. And that one is a big swing and a miss from Beto. Count moves to 0-1, as Legnard will look to, at the very least, finish off this inning. If not, try and finish off the game. And that one is chopped over toward third. That's going to drift foul. So now an 0-2 count to Beto. As you know, he would love a base hit here to pad this lead even more. And with the way that Tribudijo's been pitching for the Lions, it's going to be just an absolutely tough task for the Bruins to try and come back in this one. As Tribudijo has been every bit as dominant as you can be in a spot like this after a tough loss yesterday, and Legnard was a curveball in there, and Beto can't pull the trigger for strike 3, and that'll be the third out. So the Lions come up empty here in the 6th. We'll head to the bottom half of the 6th with the Bruins still trailing 4-0.
Now up the bat for Bob Jones, third baseman, number 38, Cole Pearson.
All right, guys, we are back here live as Cole Pearson will lead things off here after taking a shot in the last inning. Obviously, the ball hit him in the head, and as it'll be interesting to see if it affects him at the plate at all. I certainly had a moment like that. I first got to college. I was about to take my first college at bat. I was in the batter's box. It was a scrimmage game, but I was, still as a freshman, it's a pretty cool moment, even in practice. And I was sitting in the batter's box, and one of the guys, the guy that batted before me, was very late on a fastball, hit a line drive, hit me right in the head. Luckily, I was wearing a helmet, so certainly was saved by that, but it was a pretty hard-hit baseball. And there was nothing I could do, as that one is lined hard, but right to the center fielder pretty much, although he made a nice running play. And he'll make the catch for out number 1. Cole Pearson retired here to start this one, and that'll bring up Zach Burke.
First baseman number 14, Zach Burke.
So, got hit in the head. Was very dizzy for a little bit, but I didn't want to come out, so I continued the at-bat, and let me tell you, I stepped out pretty much every pitch, and that one's going to get through for a base hit. Nice job from Zach Burke to get something going for the Bruins here in the bottom of the 6th, and they're definitely going to have to get something going right now if they're going to want to try and get back in this game, as Tribudijo has been absolutely dominant so far through 5 1/3 innings of work.
Number 12, catcher Daniel Barcina.
But yeah, so decided to bat, and literally every pitch looked like it was coming right at me because I was that dizzy. And I somehow made contact with the baseball. I don't know how. And I also somehow got on base, which I still don't know how. I think there was an error or something. And I ended up not going anywhere after that. Siders are tired. I went back to the dugout. My coach came up to me and said, "You're out. I'm not putting you back out there." And I said, "All right, sounds good." And so yeah, it didn't really bode too well for me at the plate. So just kind of curious to see how getting hit in the head like that would affect Pearson, but it didn't appear to affect him at all, which is certainly a good sign. And Zach Burke takes off, and unfortunately, Daniel Barcina swinging at that one. Burke got a good jump. Excuse the laughter, but some fans for the other team were saying some good stuff over there. Got me in the middle of my sentence. Excuse me. And the 2-1. And that's upstairs. Barcina lays off for ball 3. So the count moves to 3-1. Another good hitter's count here. Barcina had a hard hit ball a couple innings ago, but unfortunately it was right at the right fielder. Or at least hung up long enough for the right fielder to track it down, nonetheless. And a move over to first as Burke gets back safely. Again, it has been very rare to see Tribudijo work out of the stretch today. I feel like it's only happened a handful of times because he has just been that good today. 3-1, and that one is tapped slowly over to third, and that one's going to get by. And Zach Burke is going to hustle over to third, and suddenly the Bruins have something cooking here in the 6th.
Oh, we can't say that.
And that'll bring up Conley Burke here with a big chance for the Bruins to cut into this lead. And as I said, they had to get something going now in this inning. You don't want to go up against a guy who's been dominant for 6 innings and try and put up a 5 spot at least in the 7th.
Now batting for the Bruins, shortstop number 9, Conley Burke.
So you want to try and at least put up 1 here in this inning to try and make it easier for yourself in the 7th. Certainly the Bruins are in a good spot to do that, but it's up to Conley Burke to keep this thing going. And the first pitch to Burke. Swung on and hit high in the air. That's going to get into the stands. And the 0-1 is upstairs. I don't know if you guys could hear that in the stream here, but there's just some gold going on with some of the fans here. I thought I was going to have to turn off my microphone with what they were saying. I wasn't sure where that one was going, but count moves to 1-1 on Conestee Park. 2-1. I don't know anymore. 2-1, sorry. Oh. Count moves to 2-1, and the pitch is swung on and fouled off to the right. They're still going. Oh. And a 2-2 count to Conley Burke in a huge at-bat here. And that's going to hit him. So Tribudiho not able to get control of that curveball there.
Way to take it, baby.
And Conley Burke takes his base. Obviously not the worst outcome in the world if you're the Lions, as now the double play ball is in play.
Now at the dish for the Bruins, designated hitter number 20, Shane Perouche.
It's going to bring up Shane Perouche, the DH. And right now he is representing the hope for the Bruins in this one, as that one's in there for a called strike. Certainly if Perouche can come through here, give the Bruins a good amount of momentum as we head into the 7th. Let's see what happens here as he's down 0-1. Swing, and that's going to get through for a base hit. One run's going to score, and certainly Barcina's going to be held at third, and he is. But one run does score for the Bruins, and they'll chip into this lead. It is now 4-1 in the bottom of the 6th. And once again, not the hardest hit ball in the world, but had just enough lift on it that it got over the third baseman's head, and he was playing in. So sometimes that's all you need.
Second baseman number 1, Chad Bain.
It's going to bring up Chad Bain. Had a pretty decent day yesterday, but like a lot of the Bruins hitters today, has not been that great at the dish today. But it doesn't matter now, as all that matters is this at-bat here. And that one's in there for a called strike 1.
You don't want to do that now, buddy.
And the 0-1. Swung on and ripped out to the left center gap. And that's going to get down. And that's going to keep rolling. It's going to get to the warning track. 2 runs are going to score. Let's see if they wave Perouche. They will. And the ball's dropped. And 3 runs are score. A bases clearing double for Chad Bain. And suddenly, this is a 4-4 ball game. Just like that. The Bruins go from nothing to something, and this game is tied here at Conestee. And the Bruins now in a good spot to continue to add to this lead with another runner in scoring position, and that'll bring up Zay Brandt. And the outfield for the Lions have been able to track everything down up to this point, but not even that outfield could track that ball down, perfectly placed. And all 3 runs score. And we've seen Coach Castile be very conservative with sending runners home this year, but not that time. He took a chance, he took a gamble, and it worked out for the Bruins.
Come on, let's go. Come on.
And the 1-0 from Tribudiho, who suddenly has imploded here in the 6th after absolutely dominating for 5 1/3 innings. The Bruins have finally been able to chink his armor and possibly even rip it off. The 1-0. Swung on and tapped out to shallow right. It's going to be in foul play, but the first baseman will track it down. So Brandt is retired for out number 2, and he's frustrated. You can see that. But that's going to bring up Colby Hogan, so the top of the lineup coming back up for the Bruins.
Now batting for the Bruins, right fielder, number 36.
And there is some action out there in the bullpen for the Bruins. It'll be interesting to see if they still do send him out there or if Legnard continues to pitch in this one, given the new game circumstance that they had before. And that one's outside for ball one. Or I should say as they have now, not as they had before. That doesn't make any sense. But you guys get it. Yeah, I feel like you guys understand me out there. You know? I feel like you guys just get me. The 1-0. And a bunt from Hogan. And that lands. And wow, what a gutsy move from Colby Hogan. I don't know if that was Castillo's call or if he did that on his own. But basically a perfect scenario as the dive does not work out for the Lions. And so that means that Colby Hogan with his speed, he's going to get on. And now,
center fielder number 5, Riley Ramsey.
the hero of last night's ball game for the Bruins has a chance to give them the lead and a chance to close it out in the 7th. Can he do it again here today? And again, nobody in the pen for the Lions. I don't know what more you have to see to think maybe you got to get somebody loose. But nonetheless, nobody in the pen. So this is Tribadijo's situation to get out of. The 1-0 from Tribadijo is swung on and drilled deep to left field, and that ball is gone! Riley Ramsey strikes again, and the Bruins take a 6-4 lead here in the 6th. Are you kidding me? Riley Ramsey's got ice in his veins, folks. No doubt about it. That bat's got more fireworks in it than WrestleMania this past weekend. Are you kidding me? Riley Ramsey once again. Another big hit, and this time it clears the fence. And this lead will balloon to 7-4, and only now will the coach of the Lions come out and talk to his pitcher. And unless there's somebody out in the pen that I don't see, this may be a very brief conversation. Man, what a turn of events for the Bruins. Down 4-0 when this inning started, and suddenly they have a 3-run lead. Wow. I'm going to catch my breath. We'll be right back. All right, folks, we are back, and Cole Pearson, who, unbelievably, that one's drilled deep to left field, and Cole Pearson has gone back-to-back. Cole Pearson going right after the first pitch, and he didn't miss it. That ball was demolished. And Cole Pearson makes this an 8-4 ball game. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say that ball hitting him in the head does not affect him whatsoever. If anything, it makes him stronger like the Hulk. What a turn of events. Cole Pearson led off this inning. Yes, he led off this inning, and in his second at-bat of the inning, goes deep. And you have to wonder, and unbelievably, only now is somebody going out to the bullpen for the Lions. I don't know what else you need to see. This poor man out there is just being fed to the wolves. As a former pitcher myself, I know it seems probably a little dramatic, but as a former pitcher myself, I don't know what else you have to see to know that maybe this guy should come out. He's pitched fantastic up to this point. He really has. Nothing to be taken away from Tribadijo. He has pitched phenomenally today up until this inning. But at a certain point, you just have to go, he's run out of gas. And wow. I mean, that is way I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he meant to do that or what, or if that just slipped. I don't know what happened there. I'm gonna hope that he didn't do that on purpose. And again, I don't know what you have to see as a coach to know that he has run out of gas here in this inning. And I do really feel for him, as he certainly pitched well enough to win this ball game up to this point. And that one is chopped over to short, and he will make the play, and Trevedijo screams in frustration, and I don't blame him, as he basically just got fed to the wolves and was left out there way too long. But nonetheless, the story of the inning is not that. The story of the inning is the Bruins put up 8 runs in the bottom of the 6th to go from down 4 to up 4 as we head to the top of the 7th with a chance for the Bruins to go 2-0 here in this series.
Now up for Paine College number 2, Vladimir Lemos.
All right, folks, we are back here live, and as I suspected, I would think that the plan was for somebody, I couldn't tell who was warming up for the Bruins, but somebody was probably going to come in. But now that the lead is back up to 4, the Bruins are going to try and let Josh Legnard finish this one off, although I will say that arm needs to stay ready out there in the bullpen, because I would think that if Legnard gets into any semblance of trouble, he will probably come out in this one. But certainly, the Bruins would love to have Legnard have a complete game here and end this with a victory. But you got to get through the Lions first, and that one is in there for a called strike 1. And that one also in there for a called strike, as Lamas, the 9-hole hitter for the Lions, finds himself down 0-2 here. And Legnard, honestly pretty wisely, just fires another fastball in to see if Lamas was even ready for it. And he was that time, fouling it off. Let's see if Legnard goes off speed here on 0-2. He does, but that almost hits Lamas. And honestly, at this point, I probably would have just let that hit me. You need base runners. That's what you got to do as a 9-hole guy. You got to get on base in this spot. And the 1-2. Swing, and yes, he went. And Lamas is out on the tag, so that'll be the out number 1 here in the 7th. And man, I tell you, what a turn of events from the feeling that we had in the top of the 6th to the feeling we have now. Unbelievable. The turn of events as Daza will step up to the plate here for the Lions. And I was informed during the break that that is the first back-to-back home runs in the history of the Bruins program. So congratulations to Riley Ramsey and Cole Pearson as they're going to have that distinction as battery mates for, the rest of Bob Jones Bruins history, as that they are the first two guys to go back-to-back in this program's history. As the count sits at 1-1 here. Legnard fires, and that one's going to get under the glove of Cole Pearson. And Daza will stop at first base. So a one-out single. As now that arm, whoever it is, I can't exactly tell, is re-warming up in the pen now, and certainly seems like the smart thing to do at this point. And that's going to bring up the two-hole hitter for the Lions, McMichael. And obviously now Legnard's going to have to navigate his way through the top of this order again. That bit him in the last inning. So we will see if he can figure it out this time around. The 0-1. Swung on and also ripped into left field for a base hit. And now you're in a not enviable position of having to face David New, who hit a 3-run home run already in this one, with, again, 2 runners on. And I would not be surprised if Legnard is on his last leash here. That it appears that he is not coming out as of yet. Although I would presume if David New does any sort of damage here, that this will be the last batter for Legnard, or at least for me, that's what I would do. But we have seen many a times that what I would do is not at all what happens, for right or for wrong. There's a reason why I'm up here in the broadcast booth and not down there playing or coaching anymore.
Now batting for Paine, designated hitter number 10, David New.
David New up 1-0 here in the count. And Page, who has definitely had a rough go of it against Legnard today, still a very dangerous hitter, sits in the batter's box. That one's ripped down the left field line and foul for strike one. Count moves to 1-1 now. And you know that Legnard would absolutely love a double play here. Get them out of it in one fell swoop. So we'll see if that happens here. The 1-1 in the dirt. I would presume whoever is the closer for the Bruins will be warming up in the pen. Again, I can't really tell who's out there, and that ball's also in the dirt. So now another really good hitter's count for David New, and you gave him a fastball at one point in a hitter's count, and it didn't work out, so we'll see what Legnard comes with here if he tries to do the same thing. And this time he goes with off speed, probably wisely, and this time it's in there for a called strike. So now a full count, and I cannot overstate how important this pitch is for the fate of the Bruins and the fate of the Lions here in this one. Who will win the battle, New or Legnard? We'll find out right here. And it's Legnard with a big strikeout of David New. 2 outs now here in the the top of the 7th. And that's going to bring up Page, the left fielder, who once again,
left fielder number 16, Dominique Page.
Once again has had a rough game, has struck out a few times against Legnard. Off-speed stuff's really gotten to him today, but he had a great day yesterday. So certainly a very dangerous hitter, and not sure how wise that is to throw over, but obviously a little bit of a soft throw, so not like it was potentially that dangerous anyway. And the first pitch to Page is swung on and missed. And Page really just has not been able to get a hold of what Legnard's throwing at him yet today. But all it takes is one good swing, and that can change that. And Page has certainly done some damage so far in this series. The 0-1. Swung on and missed. Another great pitch from Legnard. And the Lions are down to their last strike here at Conestee Park. The 0-2. Swing and a miss. Josh Legnard strikes out Page. And mark your calendars, folks, at 2:25 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on April 9th, 2022. The Bob Jones University Bruins have won their first series in school history. So congratulations to those guys. Certainly have worked hard, and they have earned it. And they earned it in this one, just like they earned it last night, scoring 8 runs in the bottom of the 6th to win 8-4 here against the Paine College Lions. And for the Lions, you've got to be walking to left field thinking, what the heck just happened? They were in control for most of this one, and just an absolute blitz by the Bruins, and suddenly they drop to 0-2 in this series. And once again, just in case you didn't hear me, first ever series win guaranteed now in program history. Even if the Bruins lose this next game 38-0, they will still have won this series, and that is a huge milestone for this program and for this team and for those players, Coach Castile, everybody involved. Congratulations to them. But we will be back in just about 30 minutes for Game 2 of this doubleheader today. So for now, I will see you in just a little bit.